Good morning. So thank you all for allowing me this opportunity to make a file presentation. It's my pleasure. My name is Frank Muhamba. I come from Tanzania in East Africa. And actually, Africa is a continent with 56 countries, so Tanzania is one of them. And for those who will be coming to the ICOPRAST meeting in South Africa, Cape Town, and there on the bottom is South Africa, and which is like 8 hours flight between Cape Town, South Africa to Dar es Salaam, so you can pay a visit. And my trip from Dar es Salaam, which is the capital city of Tanzania, to Seoul, took me about 23 hours, and the distance apart by flight is almost 10,000 kilometers. And this is Dar es Salaam, the capital city. Actually, it used to be the capital city. Now the capital city of the country has moved to the central part of Tanzania. And I moved to this place like 20 years ago. When I came to the university, then I shifted my settlement there. And it is Tanzania's largest city and busiest city. And more of the stuff are found in Dar es Salaam. And it is a kind of mixture of nationalities. We find a lot of people coming from different countries. And as mixture of culture, you can't really tell the culture of Tanzania by visiting Dar es Salaam. And also mixture of religions. We also have some non-believers. So just to pick a few of our national pride, we have the only gem found only gem which is found in Tanzania. It is called the Tanzanite. So to make a lot of different jewelries, and also Mount Kilimanjaro, which is almost 6 kilometers high, and it is an highest mountain. And we have also Serengeti National Park with the big five: the lions, the rhinos, the giraffe, and the buffalo. You can all meet them. And we have an historic island, which is called Zanzibar, with a lot of fancy beach hotels. You can also experience skydiving. And it is a place that before was occupied by Asian businessmen. So it has a kind of unique culture. Haitian, mostly Arabic culture, but also mixed with African traditions. So it's a very unique culture. My personal history, my background is so difficult. Actually, I was born in the village, and in 1960s, when we got independence, we have a founder of the nation called Julius Nyerere. At the kind of the same vision, I was trying to read around your history. You also had the same, the president who has more or less the same vision, President Park, in those years, 1960s. The vision was to have the development in rural areas, so investing in infrastructure and education. But back home was also added on investing in agriculture. But we mostly focused on investing in agriculture and education. So there are some schools within the village, though they are quite far, but at least there were some schools. And the photo you see, that is me when I was in, doing my final exam in primary school. And I was so unfortunate. I was an orphan. I lost my dad when I was around 3 years old, and lost my mom when I was 13 years old. So I had to engage in some small business at that young age so that I can take care of myself. So those are school uniforms that I actually paid myself through my businesses, and we used it to work to school on bare feet. So those, because during the final exam you had to appear smart, so I had to borrow shoes from my friend. So things went well though. And I had my this graduation photo during when I was completing the plastic surgery training last year, December. And the other photo is, these are my kids. I took them for swimming. I work at Muhimbili National Hospital. This is the largest hospital in the country. And I think it's also the oldest because it started from just a simple clinic which was established by a famous Arabic businessman. He was called Sewa Haji. So he had a very small clinic during colonial time. And this was very unique because it was only clinic in the country which attended blacks. So in order to honor him, at the current hospital that we have, one of the blocks is called Sewa Haji, just in recognizing his contribution during those times. The hospital has went through different transformations until when it was changed to National Hospital in the year 2000. So it is actually, Muhimbili National Hospital is the complex with 4 institutes in one. So we have a separate institute, which is Orthopedic and General Surgery Institute with the different directorship. But also we have Pediatric Hospital, Cardiac Hospital, and the General Muhimbili Hospital, which I'm currently working on. Department Plastic Surgery is just a unit within the Department of General Surgery. But we are now in plans to exist as a separate department. So maybe it was a high time to be here so that once we become a department, at least I've chosen a side that I should work with. We also work, we have ENT and oromaxillofacial has a separate department, but we usually collaborate in some surgeries when they need us and when we want them. We receive a lot of patients on late stage of their diseases. This example of an 83 years old female. We came with dermatofibrosarcoma protuberans, and we mobilized the lesion of flap, that is tension fasciolata, pedicle flap. She went through a lot of complications, surgical site infection, then a burst. We have to go several times back to theater, but finally she made it. And though I had some partial necrosis of the flap, but that lower area was later uncovered by skin graft. Again, that is another gentleman with the dermatofibrosarcoma protuberance. You also receive patients with a lot of, most of the patients we also attend the burn patients with burn complications. We do collaborate with some organizations from different parts of the world, and we have that second chance from Switzerland. And this is Professor Julian Dodra from Germany, the Interplast. When I told him that I'm in Seoul, he told me, oh, my greetings to Professor JP. I think they know each other. And these are from USA. Kenneth and Peter Miranda also visited at our hospital last year with their families. Actually, the black lady girl is my daughter. So during their visit, we also performed the pedicle tram flap for breast reconstruction. And after their visit, when we didn't proceed doing breast reconstruction. And also we have James Sovundra from Australia. He also has been visiting the hospital like maybe 8 years when he comes to do some reconstructions. And this was last 2 years. We did a free flap for distal leg, supposedly open fracture. We had used the free gracilis muscle. On top we covered with skin graft. I also personally involved in some other activities. I have an organization called the Journeyplast Foundation, where I travel interior of the country and offer some reconstructive services to citizens who cannot access reconstructive surgeries at our specialized hospitals. So I also give them a talk on how to manage the burns, because we have a lot of patients succumbing burns injuries, and also help them on how they should do skin grafts, because that's the most procedure that is being done at those hospitals, and some other basic reconstructive surgeries. And those are my staff some of my staff that I go with, my 2.5 group. And but also I'm involved in supporting some infrastructure in education back home. This is a school that I visited last year. It is my school that I went for secondary education. And we are planning to build a modern library. Unfortunately, since I studied at school more than 26 years, we had no library, and until now they have no library. So I've started organizing my fellow colleagues, the alumni that we went through the same school, so that we do some contribution and help them to have the modern library. Because I believe if we develop the young boys and girls in that rural communities, it is the only way where we can make our country move forward. So we have started. We need to raise something like $26,000 US, and we have started, and maybe we'll make it. I'm also involved in sports, mostly athletics. So I also personally organize race competition back home. And that photo in the middle is last year event that I organized, and we had the Minister of Health being the guest of honor. And also when I came here, I tried to learn every day. And that activity, the one that I just started running at around 8 p.m. and I got lost in the city. And I kept running until when I thought, now I should come back. I didn't even know at where exactly I was. So I switched my Neva on, and it could get me through to the dome. Only to realize that they already gone like 11 kilometers. So if someone asks my experience in Korea and Asan Medical Center in general, I quit it like just a young boy from the college who has secured a job in the city and has lent an apartment which is quite empty. And after receiving maybe his first salary, now moves to the big city to do some shoppings to furnish the apartment. So, and only to find he's in the big market like that. So everything he looks at feels like he should take it, but you can't take everything. And everything is new to him because now maybe you can buy something, but in the end you cannot buy everything. So that was my experience here. Everything was new to me. Like I've said before, that was my first trip to outside Africa. So everything was completely new. The culture is different, the infrastructure is different, not only at the hospital, but also when I was trying to move around in the streets. So actually I had to learn most of the stuff. And really, it has helped me a lot. And I don't regret my time to be here, and I will always cherish it. So I have a lot of things to do when I go back home. And this is the quote that I took from our founder of the nation, called Julius Nyerere. He was giving an address in 1960 to the newly enrolled university students for first degree. I can read it to you if you don't mind. He was telling them that those who receive this privilege, therefore, have a duty to repay the sacrifice which others have made. They are like the man who has been given all the food available in a starving village in order that he might have strength to bring supplies back from a distant place. If he takes this food and does not bring help to his brothers, he is a traitor. Similarly, if any of the young men and women who are given an education by the people of this republic adopt attitude of superiority or fail to use their knowledge to help the development of this country, then they are betraying our union. So when I've been here, like this statement has constantly resonating in my mind that I really need to go and do something different back home. So you've always been seeing me moving around with an iPad and a notebook. I was actually trying to write down everything that is, I think, to help me to develop some stuff back home. And this ranges from personal development, family, my practice and to specific areas. So I've been taking note on every topic that I needed to improve myself. So actually I've started a conversation with my head of departments, particularly for breast reconstruction and reconstructive microsurgery. It is for microsurgery, my head of department had agreed with me that we need to establish a microsurgery skills lab, and he had actually started securing the room, and we're also making communication with the head of department of pathology so that we can have an access to fresh cadaver so that we start practice, and maybe in 6 or 1 year time we shall start doing reconstructive microsurgery, I being the pioneer of that project. But also in breast reconstruction, during my stay here, I spent enough time in Team B, the help of Professor Hom and Professor Kim, visiting clinic and visiting and attending most of the surgeries. So I have also picked the articles of all professors here. I think I have a very good starting point in establishing these services back home. But also, for memory, I've bought some gift for my family, for my friends back home. A lot of them, that's a representation. T-shirts, maybe like 15. Chopsticks. I want to train my kids how to feed with chopsticks, because I've noted there must be a philosophy behind eating with chopsticks. Otherwise, you could just eat by bare hands like we do back home, or just spoons. But using chopsticks, it takes you to concentrate, learning and all those stuff. I think it will be a good teaching to my kids. I sincerely needed to express my appreciation to all the professors and colleagues for your support during my stay. Actually, everyone has contributed to my precious stay here, but I just mentioned a few. Professor Om, whom I contacted since 2023 August, expressing my desire to join Asan for attachment, and they have given me a very good advice of which I have worked on, and really it has helped. But also something unique from Professor Om. Every time I meet him, being in theater or during the conference or in the corridor, the first thing to ask me is, are you doing fine? Are you progressing well? Those kind of statements, maybe you say them rightly, but to me I perceive like this is a caring daddy talking to his son. That's how I took it, and that was very important. Yeah, but also in Team B had a good time with Professor Kim. He took me through a lot of explanation in surgeries. He also invited me at his clinic, and really had a lot of learning. And for Team C, I actually spent time more in Team B and Team A. So in Team A, Professor JP, I liked the way he was joking to me during the dinner parties, and he really made me feel at ease. Without forgetting Professor Peter, he found me training at that microscope. That microscope, I won't forget this. This was my first exposure to microsurgical skills. I didn't have during my training. So actually Professor JP, Professor Peter and Professor Park found me at different times training here, and they really felt helpful and they supported me a lot. But also I have a special appreciation to Professor Park. At times, oftentimes, he acted to me like a professor. At times, like a brother. At times, like a friend, like my homie. So actually, the way he switched between these positions was very amazing, and it gave me at the time initially when should you treat him like a friend, like my professor, and like a brother. But finally, I think I managed it. So I appreciate you very much. And Professor Jingen, I appreciate the way you have been like a very good bridge between the department and me. Always when there was something message to pass to me.
You told me that you have to work business?
Yeah, I was just petty business. So I had
What kind of business?
I had to keep some chicken and grow them. When they grow older, I had to travel like 8 to 10 kilometers to the market and sell them. I get money. But also I have to grow some potatoes at the home compound. I grow potatoes and then I go to sell them to the market. Yeah.
Is it true that I heard that you choose the team B because there are team A, team B, and team C, and team A is the most advanced and
I remember that was a joke from Professor JP. Professor JP likes a lot of jokes. But when I was communicating with the Professor Om those days, but actually expressed my interest to join breast reconstruction. But the advice he gave me that because we have newly graduated, you need to also have an exposure in microsurgery. So then I had to make up my mind when still back home that I would go through breast reconstruction and microsurgery. So that's why I was in team A and team B, but when there was a microsurgical procedure in team C, I every time visited team C to look for those reconstructions.
But the number of breast cancer is very huge.
Yes, we have a lot of breast cancer cases, and that's what also prompted me to have exposure of what we can help those women. Yeah.
Tell me about your team. Do you have, colleagues and to cooperate with to
Yes.
set up the microsurgery center as well as reconstruction center?
We are currently 7 back surgeons in the department, and it's not like we can't do stuff, but it's just the courage of doing some stuff. So I'm here, but I'm pushing them a lot. Every detail I get here, I send them to make them be motivated that, hey guys, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. So the team is there, and we have a microscope that is mostly used by the neurosurgeons and the ophthalmologists. But when we really need to have a microscope to do some reconstructions, we can get it. But most importantly that I see, actually, I've been doing a lot of things here. I'm actually writing documents regarding to guidelines and the protocols on how we can go through these new services at our hospital. Because of microsurgery and breast reconstruction. So at every stage I rate which infrastructure do we need, which kind of staff do we need, so that when I go back home, I present the document to my bosses and see how we can implement each other.
So in our symposium of Asan Plastic Surgery Department, every year we have a case called Fellowship Award, and actually this award will be held on this 15 June of this year's symposium, but Frank will have to go back in this week, so today we will have a small ceremony here. So first case co-award is for remember our ex-chief Professor Case Co. Professor Case Co is one of the founder of our department from 1989, and he had devoted and dedicated his life to patient care and education of our department. So under his mentorship, he has helped more than 77 residents and 50 fellows, and with his teachings, we can become one of the board-certified plastic surgeons and learn many things. So in his honor, we have one fellow in every year, but exceptionally this year we select 2 fellows, Frank and Rustam. So today we will give an award to Frank Muhamba from our chief professor.
Frank Dominican Muhamba, KS of appreciation in reconstruction of your valued contribution to the department of plastic surgery. Thank you.
감사합니다.
Thank you.
그리고 끄고 한 장만 더 찍겠습니다. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
And this is the prize.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you.